Okay, I want to just rant on something real quick. So I've had a beard for a long time now. I've been growing it kind of more or less off and on since around the time I was 25 years old. I'm 32 now. And what I will say is I think for employers, um, I think a lot has changed in the workforce. And I think a lot of employers you're seeing now adapt to beards as the older generation dies out. That was kind of an antiquated thing as a result of basically Gillette marketing in World War One. So people act like being clean shaven is like the default thing, but to be fair and honest, like, that's only been a thing since the early 1900s, and for just that period, like 1910, whatever, something like that, on to like, obviously on through World War II, that whole generation, and then it carried over into people's societal standards. It's also the reason why women, Gillette's marketing too, have to shave or are expected societally or socially or whatever to shave their legs and other stuff too, is because of Gillette's marketing. And like, I just think it's so stupid that like humans, we have such this fixation on changing our natural appearance up. Like, I do not get why we're so obsessed with looking like anything but how we naturally are. And like, before someone's like, oh, well, you look, I'm gonna be real honest, like, I don't really care. Like, if a girl did have like a little, like some leg hair and but she was attractive to me, like, I'm gonna be fair, like, I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me that much. Like, if a girl was in shape by my standards and looked good and I was vibing with her, we had stuff in common and she had a little bit of armpit hair, like, I honestly wouldn't care. Like, I would not care. My speaker's dying. Anyway, back to the whole beards thing. I think that's dying out with the older generation. Basically with the older generation getting older and those expectations changing. A lot of companies I've seen over the 10 plus years I've been working now have gotten a lot more like lax in their requirements for grooming. So, you're seeing a lot more people with stubble and beards on a regular basis, so it's becoming more accepted. Now, this is typically around how I wear mine. I go longer in the winter sometimes. But, like, I'm at the point where if a job asks me, like, if that's part of the requirement, like, I'm just straight up, like, I'm not going to work there. And people were like, oh, well, is it really that serious? Like, yes, it is, because like, it digs into your personal life and your, like what I do outside of work. I worked a job at Publix back in the day where I was in the deli and I had to clean shave, and I literally left that job because it wasn't worth doing that for the low pay, for other reasons too. But I literally left a job to go make less money just due to having the personal freedom. And like, also like, for me, like, I have so much hair that it's like the constant level of maintenance, because like I don't show it now, but like I literally have like 360-degree coverage of beard, like neck, sides, back. I mean, it connects to my chest hair, shoulders, back if I let it go. So like the constant upkeep of that, I would be like basically making my face raw every single day. It's just not worth it. Like, I think a lot of people that can't actually grow decent facial hair just straight up don't understand, or people that aren't hairy in general. But like, it's the constant upkeep. Like, when I was younger, I would shave my neck like more and just like make sure it was perfect. But now it's so much work, I just don't even really care anymore. So it's just too much irritation. But like, to me, it's just like, again, this is naturally who I am. And like, this is, I know it sounds silly to some people, but it's part of my identity. Like, I'm not going to change for some BS standard of what a professional person should be. I think I look better. I think it would look silly for me to have back hair, shoulder hair, chest hair, and then a baby face, balding, You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that would look so silly. But I think I look good with it, and I think there's nothing wrong with it. And I also think I'm going to add to this, speaker again, I'm going to add to this that I think it's, you know, you have like organizations, and I know the military has its reasons and whatever. You're seeing a lot more police officers with beards now, but I think that you want to see recruitment pick up in those things, because they always talk about they can't recruit people. You need to come up with modern solutions then. And, you know, maybe like I think they should implement like how they do in Europe and Canada, where for those kind of organizations that, you know, hey, maybe after you get through your basic training and you get into your fleet or whatever, you get 30 days to basically grow what you can and clean it up and have somebody review it. And if it looks, you know, a good enough coverage, then you're approved to have it. And if not, then you're not. I think that should be a widespread thing. And this system now, I have no affiliation with any of it, but I just know from talking to people who are in, and like with shaving profiles for some people and not for others, like it's such a stupid system. And yeah, I mean, it's just at the end of the day, like the whole, like even with firefighting, like the gas mask thing has been like largely debunked. So I think it's just basically like a lot of like boomer age people that just like have this 1960s idea of professionalism, and they're just so hung up on everybody looking like Adams 112 or like Emergency. I'm being serious. Like that is their idea of like professionalism and that kind of like environment, and anything deviating from that is just like a travesty. And so we have these archaic standards that still loom in those organizations, because change obviously takes a long time in any kind of government bureaucratical process or thing like that. But in terms of like the normal workforce, you're seeing beards a lot more common, facial hair a lot more common and accepted as Gen X takes over, as millennials take over in that. And I've personally seen it over the 10 years, basically, that I've, 10 plus years I've been working. I think facial hair in general has just become way more common for people. And honestly, the razor companies are kind of hurting. But I'm sticking like true to who I am with this. And like at this point, I've been rocking some kind of facial hair. Sometimes I'll shave it down to like a mustache, you know, and that's my own choice. But I don't want my employer telling me, you know, what I can and can't do with my presentation, as long as I don't look like ridiculous. But I think I always, you know, I'm presentable. But I just think that's an archaic standard. And I mean, it's open discrimination as far as I'm concerned, that's even like allowed. I can understand implementing like, okay, maybe not like a ZZ top, but something like this, speaker again, something like this, like I just don't see what the issue is. And yeah, I think that will largely go away as time progresses on and on. But the one thing as I get older, I can't wrap my head around humans and their desire to alter their natural state. Like, I just don't understand why as humans we're so obsessed with these self-imposed beauty standards and basically making ourselves look anything but how we are naturally designed to. And I always question that. Anyway, my 2 cents later.